The next Team Go Rocket Takeover event is almost here in Pokemon Go, and in this video I will be going through all of the details for the takeover, including information about the new Shadow Pokemon, and I'll be going through some tips and which event Pokemon are worth focusing on. So the takeover will begin on August 8th at 12 AM and it will end on the 12th of August at 11:59 PM local time. You will receive a new special research story that will reward you with a Super Rocket Radar that you can use to battle Giovanni and catch the new Shadow Cresselia. More on Shadow Cresselia later on in the video. So for the bonuses for the event, Team Go Rocket will be appearing more frequently at Pokestops and in balloons. Normally this means that you will be getting a Team Go Rocket balloon appear every 3 hours instead of every 6, and this means that you will get a maximum of 8 balloons per day. You will also be able to use a charge TM to remove frustration from your Shadow Pokemon, so make sure you take advantage of this while you can because it doesn't come around that often. Team Go Rocket grunts and leaders will be using different Shadow Pokemon, but we won't know what their lineups are until the event goes live. And there will also be some brand new Shadow Pokemon for the event: Shadow Timber, Turtuga and Archen. For the raids, in 1-star Shadow raids for the event will be Shadow Mareep, Wooper, Cranidos and Shieldon. In 3-star raids will be Shadow Nuzleaf, Manectric and Vibrava. And in 5-star Shadow raids on August 10th and 11th will be Shadow Lugia. There will also be event themed field research rewarding mysterious components, charge TMs and fast TMs. There will be a rocket bundle on the web store for $10 and this will get you 7 rocket radars, 7 premium battle passes, 7 ultra balls and 7 silver pinat berries. There will also be an event bundle in the in-game shop for 315 Pokecoins, and that will get you an incubator, a rocket radar and a premium battle pass. Pokestop showcases will also be available during the event, so keep an eye out for that. And as this takeover will be part of the Adventure Week event, the following bonuses will also apply. You'll get 2 times XP for spinning Pokestops, 5 times XP for spinning a Pokestop for the first time. You'll also get 2 times XP for hatching Pokemon, and you'll have an increased chance to encounter shiny Cranidos, Shieldon, Turtuga, Archen, Tyrant and Amora. The wild encounters for the event will be Diglett, Omanyte, Kabuto, Dunsparce, Roggenrola, Drillbur, Bunnelby and rarely Aerodactyl. Hatching from 7km event eggs will be Cranidos, Shieldon, Turtuga, Archen, Tyrant and Amora. And remember, you can only get 7km eggs by opening gifts from your friends, and to get these specific event eggs with the event pool, you will need to open them after the event starts. In field research will be Dunsparce, Lileep, Anorith, Cranidos, Shieldon, Roggenrola, Drillbur, Turtuga, Archen, Bunnelby, Tyrant and Amora. Also, there will be some field research tasks rewarding Mega Energy for Aerodactyl. In 5-star raids will be Moltres, and in Mega raids will be Mega Aerodactyl. I will be going through how good the event Pokemon are later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. There will also be the option to purchase a $2 timed research that will get you 2 incubators, 1 super incubator and encounters with event themed Pokemon. Collection challenges will also be available and they will get you some Stardust, event themed encounters and Mega Energy for Aerodactyl. So these are all the details, but how can you make the most of this event? So just before I get into the Rocket Takeover tips, which of these bundles or tickets are worth buying? So firstly, the web store bundle for $10 does actually have some good value because the premium items that you get in the bundle are worth around 2,000 Pokecoins, which equates close to around $15. So you are getting a bit of a discount. If you plan on doing a good amount of raids and Rocket Leader battles, then this one could be worth it for you. The 315 Pokecoin bundle has a slight discount, with the combined cost of the items you get being 350 Pokecoins. So it is worth getting this box if you would be getting these items anyway for a slight discount. And as for the Adventure Week $2 timed research ticket, it could be worth picking up if you want some incubators, because the incubators that you get would cost 500 Pokecoins, which roughly is around $5. So you're technically saving around $3 there. Now with the Rocket Takeover, you will be able to remove frustration from your Shadow Pokemon using a charge TM. And outside of a couple events, the Team Rocket Takeover events are the only ones that really allow you to do this, so definitely worth prioritizing this when the event starts. Ideally, you would remove frustration from all of your Shadow Pokemon, but for most, charge TMs are pretty limited, so you might want to prioritize certain Pokemon ahead of others. But which Pokemon should you prioritize? Firstly, I would recommend removing frustration from useful Shadow Legendary Pokemon like Kyogre, Groudon, Mewtwo, Moltres, Raikou, Entei, etc. And also some top Shadow Pokemon for raid attacking like Salamence, Metagross, Machamp, Rampardos, Rhyperior, Magnezone, Tyranitar and Weavile, etc. And for Go Battle League, you could go for Pokemon like Gligar, Swampert, Feraligatr, Poliwrath, Quagsire, Registeel, Dragonite and Gyarados as some examples. Also, you will be able to encounter and catch Shadow Cresselia from Giovanni for the first time, but how good is Shadow Cresselia? Firstly, to get the encounter you need to progress through the new Team Go Rocket Takeover special research that you will receive when the event starts. This will get you a Super Rocket Radar that you can use to locate Giovanni at a Pokestop or in a rocket balloon. But what happens if you don't see this special research in your game? Well, sometimes this happens, and the reason usually is that you already have an active rocket special research that has progressed past the first page. This often stops you from receiving the new special research, so you will need to complete that one you've already got first. Luckily, it doesn't matter if you do an old one or a new one, because you will get a Super Rocket Radar from either of them, and you can still challenge Giovanni and get Shadow Cresselia. Now back to the question of how good Cresselia is it actually worth using a Super Rocket Radar on? So Cresselia in its non-shadow form is actually a strong Go Battle League Pokemon. It's currently ranked 23 in the Great League with 2 15-13 IVs, and it's ranked 14 in the Ultra League with 1 15-13 IVs. And it does seem likely that Shadow Cresselia will also be good in both of these leagues. And to get a Great League Cresselia, it is pretty difficult because from raids you can't catch a Cresselia with 1500 or less CP. So you would have to mirror trade it with a low friendship level friend to try and re-roll the IVs low enough that it would be below the Great League CP threshold. Outside of that, you will have to get one from timed or special research, and this will only happen on a very rare special occasion. However, Shadow Cresselia will be a reward from Giovanni, and any Pokemon from Giovanni are caught at level 8 with a 666 IV floor, meaning that it will have a low enough CP to enter the Great League. So I would say if you are a Go Battle League player, it's definitely worth using the Super Rocket Radar to get Shadow Cresselia. But if you don't want to get Shadow Cresselia, what can you do instead? Well, you can effectively stack your Rocket Radars. To do this, once you receive the Rocket Takeover special research, you basically just have to ignore it and make sure you don't claim rewards that will progress you past page 1 out of 5 of the research. This is because if you don't go past page 1, the game doesn't register correctly that you have the research, meaning that the next time there is a Rocket Takeover, it will give you the new special research as well as the one you've already got. However, if you go past page 1 to page 2 or higher, the game will consider you as having an active Rocket research, and then you would have to complete the one that you have before you could receive the new one. And for the Adventure Week bonuses, as you get 2 times XP for spinning Pokestops and 5 times XP for spinning Pokestops you haven't already, this event would be a great time to try and play the game in a new place where there are a lot of Pokestops you haven't spun before. This way you can use a lucky egg and get more than 2000 XP per Pokestop spin. I recommend using your auto catcher during this event to automatically spin Pokestops to take advantage of the bonus XP whilst you can't use your phone, like if you're driving for example. This is also useful to have running in the background whilst you do raids, Team Go Rocket battles, etc. Another good strategy for getting XP during this event with the 2 times hatch XP is to try to stack 12-kilometer eggs that you get from beating Team Go Rocket leaders. Incubate them all and then walk them enough to the point where they are close to hatching. Then when the event starts, you can use a lucky egg and then finish hatching them to get 4 times hatch XP for all of them. Using a lucky egg and the 2 times hatch bonus, you will get 16,000 XP per 12-kilometer egg hatch, which for a batch of 12 is almost 200,000 XP. Regarding XP, it is also worth entering any Pokestop showcases that you come across because you can get some XP in Stardust just for taking part, and placing highly can get you some premium items as well, like lucky eggs and star pieces that you can use to get more XP in Stardust. When it comes to candy, you can Mega Evolve a Pokemon that shares a type with the Pokemon you're catching to increase the amount of Candy XL and XP you get per catch. And with this event having a fossil Pokemon theme, most of the featured Pokemon have a rock typing, so I recommend Mega Evolving Pokemon like Aerodactyl, Tyranitar or Diancie. Also, if you can, it's worth using a Pokemon that you have at max Mega level because you will get more Candy, XP and chance for Candy XL by doing this. If you are trying to shiny hunt Tyrant and Amora because of their boosted shiny rates, they are unfortunately not available from the wild, but you could use Dawnwing's Necrozma's Moongeist Beam Adventure Effect to get encounters with Amora, and Duskmane Necrozma's Sunsteel Strike Adventure Effect to get encounters with Tyrant. These adventure effects work like an incense and they have a limited pool of Pokemon that can spawn, so this could be a good way to shiny hunt these Pokemon. Bear in mind though, it does cost 3000 Stardust and 3 Necrozma candies for 10 minutes of their effects. Also, while these adventure effects are active, you will be able to evolve Pokemon that require the night like Amora while Moongeist Beam is active, and evolve Pokemon that only evolve in the day like Tyrant when Sunsteel Strike is active. For the 35 Platinum medals that you do need to get to level 49 in Pokemon Go, here are some that you could work on during this event. With the increased amount of Team Go Rocket appearing for the event, it's a great chance to work on your Platinum Hero and Purifier medals. And if you're going for the Purifier medal, remember to purify Pokemon that have a purification cost cost of 1 candy and 1000 Stardust, otherwise it can be quite costly. With all of the rock types spawning, this is a great event to work on your Platinum Hiker medal. As there are XP bonuses for spinning Pokestops, this will be a good chance to work on your Sightseer and Backpacker Platinum medals. With the egg hatching bonus, it could be worth hatching some eggs to work on your Breeder Platinum medal. With showcases being available, it could be worth going for your Showcases Star Platinum medal, which is the only way to get an encounter with PhD Pikachu. It's worth trying to find rural locations with Pokestop showcases because you will have less competition and more chance of winning. And with that said, which event Pokemon are worth focusing on? Firstly, Omanyte and Kabuto will be available, and whilst not meta relevant, these Pokemon are required for part of the Let's Go Meltan special research, so if you haven't completed it yet, it's worth going after him during this event. Roggenrola will be available, and its evolution Gigalith is the 14th best rock type attacker. It's worth noting though that it does want legacy move Meteor Beam to be at its best, which would require an elite TM to get. Drillbur is a good Pokemon to go after because Excadrill is the 14th best ground type attacker and the 19th best steel type attacker, and it is even better in its shadow form, so if you do have the shadow, it could be worth getting some candy for it by catching these Drillbur. Excadrill is also ranked 103 in the Master League. Bunnelby might also be worth picking up because its evolution Diggersby is ranked 102 in the Great League with 0, 15, 13 IVs. Aerodactyl could be worth going after because Mega Aerodactyl is the 5th best rock type attacker, but it is less of a priority if you have access to Mega Tyranitar or Mega Diancie. We also have Lileep and Anorith in field research, and again, whilst not meta relevant, much like Omanyte and Kabuto, there is a part of the Let's Go Meltan special research that does require you to catch either of these. Cranidos is well worth going after because Rampardos is the 7th best rock type attacker, and it's the 2nd best in its shadow form and number 1 in terms of DPS. Shadow Cranidos will also be available in 1-star shadow raids for the takeover, so a great chance to get Shadow Rampardos. Shieldon will also be available, and Bastiodon is ranked 8 in the Great League with 0, 15, 14 IVs, and it's ranked 15 as a shadow. And unfortunately, Shieldon will only be available from eggs or research during this event, meaning that it will be difficult to get low attack IVs because both eggs and research have a 10-10-10 IV floor. So you could try to mirror trade with someone to reduce the attack IV if you want these perfect PvP IVs. Shadow Shieldon will also be available in 1-star Shadow Rage during the takeover, where it will have a 666 IV floor, which is also not that ideal for a PvP Bastiodon. Tyrunt is worth going after because Tyrantrum is the 10th best rock type attacker, and Amora is worth it for the Battle League because Aurorus is ranked 55 in the Great League with 0, 12, 13 IVs, and it's ranked 14 in the Ultra League with 0, 15, 15 IVs. When it comes to raids, starting with the 1-star Shadow raids, the best choice to go after is Shadow Cranidos, like I mentioned previously, but we do also have Shadow Wooper, and Shadow Quagsire is ranked 7 in the Great League with 0, 15, 14 IVs, so if you want the perfect PvP IVs, I would recommend trying to get Shadow Wooper from Team Go Rocket Grunts or Leaders when it's available, because they have no IV floor, whereas Shadow raids have a 666 IV floor. This is a similar story for Shadow Shieldon with Shadow Bastiodon, like I mentioned previously. And when it comes to the 3-star Shadow raids, Shadow Manectric might be worth going after because it is the 18th best electric type raid attacker, and you could always purify it for a Mega Manectric, which is the 4th best electric type raid attacker. Moltres could be worth going after because it is the 26th best fire type attacker and the 8th in its shadow form, so if you already have a Shadow Moltres, it could be worth raiding Moltres to get candy to power up the shadow version. Mega Aerodactyl could be worth raiding, but if you are limited on the amount of raid passes you have, you could try to get its Mega Energy from field research instead. And lastly, for Shadow Lugia, it could be worth raiding because it is the 13th best flying type attacker, and it's ranked 42 in the Master League and ranked 27 in its non-shadow form, so it could be worth purifying for Go Battle League. It does want legacy move Aeroblast to be at its best, that would require an elite charge TM to get. And also, if you do want to know what some of the rarest Pokemon are in Pokemon Go, then I recommend you check out this video next.